Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you've been following us for a while, you would have realized that I really like the color black, especially on my clothes. What I have next to me is a very special vehicle. Not only is it the debut of the X6, which will be shown at the Frankfurt Motor Show, it is also covered in the blackest material known to man, which is Vantablack. So I'm really intrigued to learn more about this material and speak to the inventor to see what the practical applications of this material is and how it came about. So, the Vanta in Vantablack stands for Vertically Aligned Nanotube Array, and it blocks 99.65% of light. We have with us Ben Jensen, CTO and founder of Surrey Nanosystems, to talk about the product and its application. So, Ben, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, this is on the car, it's not actually the Vantablack technology, is slightly different, isn't it? Do you want to explain why that is?
So the original Vantablack material, that holds a world record as the darkest material ever made, is grown in a vacuum-based process, and that absorbs 99.965% of light that hits it. This is a material called Vantablack VBX2 that's not made from carbon nanotubes and absorbs 99% of the light that hits it.
Okay.
But the materials have two things in common. The extreme level of blackness and the fact that they retain that blackness from all viewing angles. So as you walk round and approach the car, you can see really a lack of dimensionality in the way you would perceive a shiny black metal surface of a normal car. And in this case, when you look at the car, your perception of what you're looking at is slightly altered. You don't see those beautiful flowing lines.
Yeah, so that's what I noticed about the car. Now with the lighting as it is, you see all the shiny bits like the grille and the lights and the BMW badge, and they literally look like they're floating in a black hole. And it really plays tricks on your eyes. So do you want to give me the inspiration? Why did you actually come up with this material? What's the story? Where did it come from?
So we originally developed the material for space applications. So when satellites look at the Earth for global warming studies and things like that, they have to look through clouds. So they do that in something called the infrared spectrum. That's just beyond the bit that human eye can see. And to calibrate the cameras and make them incredibly accurate, they calibrate them against something called a black body. And the original Vantablack material was developed to enable cameras on satellites to be calibrated when they were looking at the Earth.
Okay, and in terms of practical application, obviously this cannot really be applied to a car that's going to be used because it's going to be too hard to maintain. So in terms of vehicles itself, what is the application for the auto industry?
It's really interesting for a technology that's kind of morphed from space and now down into automotive applications. One of the big problems when you're dealing with sensor systems on cars is sunlight. So sunlight impacts heads-up displays, it impacts the cameras that keep the car safe because of reflection, and the cameras tend to wash out. So the coatings are used in all types of areas where there's optical sensor systems that are interacting with sunlight. So imagine a car coming over a hill in the winter where the sun's down low in the horizon and getting straight into the camera system. This material absorbs the stray light inside the camera system and in the shield around it, preventing what you would call pixel washout and artifacts being displayed.
Okay, and in terms of general aesthetics in other products, have you got any ideas of where it can be applied? I heard someone talking about putting it into the face of watches. So
yes, there's an amazing design watch out there from a Swiss manufacturer, Moser, that uses a Vantablack dial. It's really interesting because in the images that you see, it's very difficult to comprehend just how deep black it is because the contrast in the printing just isn't there. And the contrast on the screen when you look at it is limited by the screen. But all the wearers of this watch, when they see it, describe it as if they have a black hole on their wrist. So it's almost infinitely deep when you see the watch, and it's such a beautiful design.
Okay, I'd like to check that out because I like watches as well and design.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Ben, thank you very much for joining us and explaining more about the technology. I'd be really intrigued about how it worked, and it's really interesting to hear your story and what the applications are.
Fantastic.
So thanks.
Thank you for inviting me.
So we've talked about Vanta, we've talked about the darkest car in the world. It'd be rude not to talk about the X6 because it is an exciting product release from BMW. So what I'll do now is go over the features of the car. In previous generations, the X6 looked just like the X5 it was based on, but with a slanted back to make it look more like a coupe and give it a sporty appearance. In this new generation X6, however, the car is remarkably different in design.
Not only does it have that distinctive coupe-like shape, but the front and rear light and grille designs are actually much different to the regular X5. One of the first features you notice about this car is that it actually has illuminated grilles. So this is the first time a production vehicle has ever had illuminated grilles, and it works alongside the daytime running lights. So when you have the daytime running lights on the car, the grilles are also automatically illuminated. We've also noticed recently that BMW have released this as a retrofit upgrade for the current 5 Series cars. The X6 has always polarized opinion, and I don't think that this third generation X6 will be any different. The X5 is always a safe choice. The X6 always looks a bit like an oddball, but it obviously appeals to a certain type of person. It has always been seen as a slightly sporty version of the X5, and the lower center of gravity is supposed to provide different driving dynamics to make the car feel more connected to the driver. The back of the car is very different to any BMW we've seen. It does have some design elements from the 8 Series, as you can see from the large inlets in the bumper and the way the diffuser and exhaust are incorporated together. What's really different about this car is how long those rear lights are. The shape of it actually looks a lot like the Mercedes GLC. On the non-M Performance models, there are 2 trim levels available, X-Line and M Sport. Both of the M Performance models, the M50i and the M50D, come with an M Performance exhaust as standard and also an electronically controlled limited slip diff. Although not as standard on the other models, you can option these. I'm really interested to hear what the M Performance diesel exhaust is going to sound like, because most of the time when we've fitted aftermarket exhausted diesel cars, we haven't really noticed an increase in sound. The interior is very similar to the X5, which is no bad thing, because BMW have really stepped up their game on their interiors recently, especially with the addition of the new iDrive and the LCD speedo displays. It still lacks behind Audi, I think, a little bit, but it's a real step in the right direction. It looks and absolutely feels quality inside there. So with this third generation X6, which BMW internally dubbed the Beast, it has shown a departure from the regular X5 styling to really differentiate the models. We're looking forward to seeing more of them on the road when they get released later this year.
So this is officially the blackest vehicle in the world. If you guys want to check it out in person, you can go to the Frankfurt Motor Show, where BMW will have this in an enclosed room with a laser show to really show off how dark it is. Hope you guys have found this video interesting. And just thinking about it, what would you actually apply this Vantablack to? If you could apply it to anything, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer them for you.